What's up, people? Welcome to part 5 of creating your own website. Now, in the last part we left off by applying a text shadow through CSS to our links, and we also added our logo into our banner. So picking up from where we left off, we're just going to want to finish off some sort of design elements, and what I really ideally want to do is apply these nav links actually needs to be linked, because at the moment they're not linked to anything, they're static, and that's not good. So to create a link, you need to encaps the paragraph with link tags, and a link tag is defined by opening your tags and doing a href is equals to double quotes, and then we're going to put the like path to our new file, to our other file that it's going to be linked to on the site directory. So because we're already in the first level of our directory, we don't actually need to do any sort of // or anything, because the // looks up a level. So say you was in the images folder and you needed to look in the root, you do // index.php, and that would take you back to the index.php. So I hope that makes sense to you. If not, it will make sense to you by the end of this tutorial, I hope. And yeah, we're just going to get on and create these links real quick. So the href link for home is going to literally be index.php, and then we're going to close the tag here, and before the TD, in between the TD and the closing of the P, we're going to do a closing A tag as well, and that will now create a link over the home icon. So here, if we refresh and we click, it keeps sending us back to here. And if you can see up on my top tab where it says homepage, I wasn't recording for a second, but if you can see at the top tab where it says homepage, when I click it, I get the little loading symbol to tell me that I've put a request through for it to redirect to a new page. And just to illustrate that to you guys clearer, because it loads so fast, I'll send my social icon to link me off to Google, for example. So we're going to go a href is equals to double quotes, and then we're going to say http:// and then we're going to go www.youtube.com. And the reason why you need the full extension is because if you don't define it as a full link, then the browser won't be able to pass it. So we need to put it in as a full link, or it's not going to work when we come to do it. And something is wrong in my syntax, and that's because I haven't put an equals here. And now it should work. Right, social redirects us to YouTube. Now, I'm sure some of you already like HTML gurus, but I want to run through this as in the sense that nobody has had any prior knowledge to programming in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP. You're just a complete novice, and this tutorial is here to give you the sort of know-how of how you can apply the rules that I'm teaching you to your own sort of site. And I'm hoping that this will get a good response from the community, because I think it's important that everyone should be able to make their own sort of website. For now, I'm actually going to leave the social tab blank, because all that's going to be, I know loads of people like to stick their social icons all along the top here. They're like, oh yeah, I love my Facebook, I love my Twitter, I love my YouTube, and yeah, it looks nice, but we're going to do something different, just because I purely want to use a drop down box, and we're going to have a drop down box with all of our personal links in it, and it's going to be powered by Java, so it's going to have a fancy animation. So yeah, I'll implement that later. But for now, I'm just going to pause the video while I add my other links in. Right guys, so everything's now got its own link, and as you can see at the moment, if I click on any of the links that are in here, it will just tell me Sorry, but the request cannot be completed because gfexport/contact.php was not found on the server. It's quite self-explanatory what this error is actually presenting, and I'm sure a lot of you can follow it. But for those of you who can't, it's saying in our root directory we cannot find contact.php, and that's because we haven't yet actually created any of those documents. So before we're going to actually add any major content into our pages, we're going to do a file save as on this document, and we're just going to multiply it a few times so we have all of our different pages. So we have our index, we want media.php because that's what I set the link up to. Then we're going to save media.php as social.php, about.php, and then we're saving about.php as contact.php, and that should be all of our pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So we should have 4 pages. We should have index.php, media.php, about.php, and contact.php. And later we're going to have admin panel.php, but for now we're going to keep it simple and have these ones. Right. So the next part we want to do for the creation of our site is we're going to trim this banner down, so we're actually going to lose all of our elements on it, so we can literally get the gradient fill. And even though you can apply a gradient with CSS, Internet Explorer doesn't always work well with gradients, so therefore you'd have to use a solid colour. And to be honest, I like to use gradients. I'm one of those weird people that love gradients. So I export everything as an image, and then I use CSS to implement it rather than HTML because it loads it much better. So I think I might just put it as PNG 8 because it compresses it a lot nicer. Because JPEG will just be such a huge file size. PNG 8 is 256 colours, and that's more than enough for what we need. So we'll go save. I did PNG 24, fuck it. And we're going to call this header BG. And we're going to save that. And then back inside of our HTML, we're going to give up here at the top where we have table width, we're going to give the table an ID that's equals to head. Now over in our CSS we can now apply this rule to get a background on our table. So we're going to say table ID of head is going to get the properties that are going to be equals to background dash image, and then we're going to go image it. It's going to be URL, but I'll just do the browse because it's so much quicker. This is why I love Dreamweaver, because you get so many code hints, you can just do everything so much quicker. But it would be URL open brackets colons, and then we're going to have the path to our image. So we have header BG, and we'll put that in there. Semicolon, control save, go to our thing, refresh. That's so much nicer. We're going to start styling these a little more in a minute. There you go, that's actually in its proper resolution. Now, personally, I think that bar's a little too high, so I'm just going to get rid of it. I have another bar on here somewhere, I just can't find it. If I just maximise the site. Sorry guys. Alright, oh shit. File. Save for web and devices. Save. Header BG. Replace, and there we go. One sec, guys. Right, so basically I completely forgot about adding the background repeat option, and it was repeating on the y-axis again, so I was actually getting the sort of colour, the lighter colour from the top appearing down the bottom, so it's giving me that horrible sort of bold looking feeling, and I wasn't liking it. So after fixing that, we now have this. Still doesn't look amazing, to be honest with you, but trust me, it will take shape. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to want to center this into the middle of the page, because literally whoever has a website that floats on the left hand side. So back in Dreamweaver, we want to come to our source code, and we're going to go to our table here, and literally we're going to put a line is equals to double quotes center, CENTER, control save, and boom. And now we have our image centered on our page. Now I'm going to have to leave this part of the tutorial here because it's getting a bit long again, and in the next part we'll focus on adding in the search bar graphic and putting in the drop down arrows. So I hope you've enjoyed this so far, guys. Peace.